Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole. Flyperbole, flip, flyperbole.
You know, Quigs, I don't feel like I've started off a show with a classic weird South Philly moment in a while. And I got a good one today. So I'm excited to tell you all about it.
What was that, Steve? Did it happen at the Italian festival? The Italian,
I did not. That's a good presumption, right? Like I would assume that it would happen at the Italian Market Festival, and it did not happen at the Italian Market Festival. But the Italian Market Festival is loosely involved in this. But
Okay.
yeah, I was walking Brucey the other day during one of the days for the Italian Market Festival. I think it was day 2 because it was both days. Because the Italian population in Philadelphia, there's no holding them to just one day.
The good old Italians sure do love South Philly. So.
Dude, that's a South Philly institution right there. Go check out the Columbus statue sometime.
Yeah.
But I'm walking Brucey, and there's near our house, there's a lot that used to be, I think, an auto garage. And they tore it down. I think they're building condos there. But right now it's just a fenced in empty lot, right? Like there ain't shit there. And all of a sudden, some lady just walks over and tries to throw a goddamn pineapple over the fence into the empty lot. Fails.
Okay, so I'm just happy that it wasn't at you or Bruce.
No.
Because when you first started that sentence, I was like, was she throwing the pineapple at you or your dog? Like, what the hell happened here?
I believe she actually complimented Bruce. So that actually made it stranger because, like, I feel like I'd understand if somebody tried to throw it at me.
Yeah.
But, like, trying to throw it over the fence, I guess to get rid of it is like, I guess she's just trying to dispose of this pineapple, which,
right.
What? Like, where did you get the pineapple? I don't understand any of it.
What are you getting rid of it for? Just eat that bitch. Like, just have some pineapple chunks for breakfast. Steve, this brings up such an interesting, what is your ratio for like breakfast, sweet to savory? What's your ratio for breakfast food? If you're having
that's an interesting
big
question.
Breakfast.
Well, I mean, I always this is where having a proper partner to coordinate this is key. Because like Emily and I sometimes, like, we did brunch with my sisters for my one sister's birthday last month. And I remember she got a savory dish and I got a sweet dish so that we could try both. And
what was your savory or your sweet dish?
I'm trying to remember. The savory dish was a like biscuits and gravy kind of thing.
Okay.
Like biscuits, sausage, gravy. It was solid. Yeah. We went to Bud and Maryland's, which is a very, very good restaurant on 13th Street. And I got a tiramisu French toast.
Okay.
Which was friggin' awesome. It was great. I think we might have gotten some like fried chicken for the table. So we had a good ratio. I let everybody try the French toast and everything. But yeah, I think, generally speaking, I like kind of like a 75-25 savory to sweet ratio, but it kind of depends on what's on the menu on a given day. But generally speaking, I want like the bulk of mine to be savory, like good salty breakfast. And then, I like a pancake for the table, French toast for the table kind of thing.
I like a good 60-40 or 65 35 split. That's good. That's right. Because what I like to do, I have to have my scrambled eggs. So that's a must. I got to have bacon. That's a must.
Of course.
Optimally, I would like to have some sausage as well. So that's eggs, bacon, sausage, maybe a piece of toast. I think you can never go wrong with some toast with some butter on it. You know what I mean? And then I gotta have pancakes. And if there's no pancakes, then I'll have a waffle. I prefer pancakes. They're the same goddamn thing, really. But like,
right.
I prefer the pancake. And so like, give me a stack of pancakes or waffle, and then give me some pineapple chunks on the side.
The only thing I'm not into there is the pineapple chunks, but that's just a weird thing with me. I don't like a lot of fruit in general because I'm just a caveman. but I'm just a caveman who's
Yeah.
confused by your fruity modern world. But
Yeah.
I ultimately, I'm not a big like pineapple guy. I kind of wish I did because like fruit's got some great benefits for you, but that's just me.
So good.
But
Apparently
yeah,
it makes you taste better, if you know what I mean.
we're not getting into that today, my friend. But
Did
yes,
you know that, Steve?
I have heard it. Yes, I'm 41. I've heard it.
What have the ladies said?
I'm not getting
Is
into
it
that.
You sure
Good
about
night
that?
and good hockey. That's what I say.
All
to
right.
that.
We'll wrap it
But
up. Good
but
episode,
here's the thing.
Steve.
This is why chicken and waffles is the best brunch dish
It's phenomenal.
because it gives you the proper split, the proper ratio.
50-50, salty, or excuse me, sweet, savory. And dude, it's so funny because I never tried chicken and waffles. I remember just hearing about it all the time. And I was like, chicken and waffles, that's the weirdest combination ever. Like, there's no way that would be good. And then I finally had it and it blew my socks off. And I was obsessed. And so now there's this place in Philly up towards, I don't know if it's South Kensington or whatever it is, but it's called Green Eggs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know Green Eggs. Green Eggs is an institution. Yeah.
The place rocks. And so
Green Eggs is great. Yeah.
Went there for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and dude, awesome! Like, I'm excellent chicken and waffles. I mean,
That's all. Yeah, Green Eggs
so good. That's honestly, that's the best breakfast I think I've had in Philly so far.
I mean, it's like known for having one of the best, that you could just walk in and just destroy.
Have you had Sully Mays on?
I've not yet. I've heard good things.
Okay, yeah, I've heard good things. I still haven't been there, which is crazy because I live walking distance from there. At some point, I just need to get over there and just make it happen.
God, it's so tempting to just make this an entire just food podcast. I mean, look at this. Like, for instance, I'm not going to get too much into the food, but look at this beautiful. I went to Pizzata before I hung out with some people and did some comedy stuff tonight, mainly watched, but look at this friggin' gorgeous pie that I got at Pizzata tonight.
Oh my God. It's like a little Jewish star pie.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Star pie. Yes, it is like a Star of David.
It's a Jewish pizza.
There's ricotta cheese in the crust there.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
The crust looks, I know it's not, but the crust looks like some sort of like egg roll situation.
Yeah, it's not, but they use like a sourdough base for the crust. It's just a Pizzata on Passyunk, and I think they have a Center City-ish location that's very good, but I've only ever been to the Passyunk one. It's outstanding. I love it. But I got that tonight. So yeah, I mean, I could just talk food all day. I want to quickly wrap up the lady with the pineapple though. So lady comes along, pineapple, tries to throw it over the fence.
So the story continues. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She picks it up and she then just casually, she didn't just do something insanely weird. She just casually goes, "Hey, is there a fair today?"
So
I'm like, there's an Italian market festival like a mile up.
Yeah.
And she goes, that explains it.
And then, so does she carry on with the pineapple? Or...
I have no idea. I just took Bruce and I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
What now? Did this lady look like she's seen better days, or is this just a put together looking person?
No, she's somewhere in between there. Somewhere in the middle of that. She wasn't quite the Simpsons cat lady, but she wasn't, businesswoman of the year either. So she was right in between, which is a South Philly lady, if there ever was one.
Right, yeah.
Man, I was just one of those. I was like, okay, that was weird enough for me. Brucey boy, we're getting out of here and we're just moving on.
That is a very strange story. What a strange lady. Respect. I respect it. But that's a weird interaction for sure. Just carrying a pineapple, trying to just chucking it, and then turning to you with no context. Is there a festival? Like, is there
a fair? A fair? Yeah.
Yeah. Like fair. What? That is a very bizarre exchange, and that just sounds like something that would be in some sort of episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's what
it sounds like.
Yes, it's very much an Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing right there. Absolutely. Now, to quickly move on, because we have a lot today, and I want to just run through the Flype stuff. So One other thing I wanted to mention, I came across this on my Instagram feed the other day, and I thought this was especially interesting because Metallica and Limp Bizkit, you might have noticed the Fred Durst in the corner over here, but Metallica and Limp Bizkit are coming to Lincoln Financial Field on Friday night. Somehow I'm not going. It sounds like the most Flype show of all time. And I should get a last minute ticket because that is just like right up this podcast alley. Ryan Quigley just disappeared into thin air. He was that excited about the Metallica Limp Bizkit show. I don't know where he went. There's no way to tell. I'm just going to keep on talking about it. But until Ryan Quigley's back, and it looks like he's back, so I don't know what happened to him.
I have no idea what just happened, but
he just disappeared into the void. But this had nothing to do with Metallica coming, but this came across my feed the other day on Instagram. And you remember like the whole Metallica Napster thing from the late 90s, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are very young that might be listening to this, Napster was basically a pirating music software, the OG, I would say, pirating music software from back in the day.
Everyone used it.
Everyone used it. It was great. And Lars Ulrich from Metallica got pissed off that their stupid Mission Impossible 2 song got leaked on there, which is one of their worst singles.
Yeah.
And they filed a lawsuit and they basically like wrecked Napster. And apparently they had a video that aired at, I guess it was like one of the Video Music Awards or something, but I'm just going to present this real quick and hopefully y'all can hear the audio when I play this here for you audio listeners here. But look at this shit right here, where you've got Marlon Wayans rocking out in a dorm room of the Wayans brothers.
Love the hip thrusting.
Hello.
And then fucking Lars Ulrich just appears.
What the hell do you think you're doing, man?
At the doorway. Lars Ulrich, the drummer from Metallica, mind you. Nobody would ever respond to Lars Ulrich like that.
Except for that bad show you hosted.
You know what? Maybe I wouldn't have to whore myself out if you kids didn't steal my music.
So yeah, Lars Ulrich confronts frat boy Marlon Wayans.
So it's like if I take this soda can right here, take a sip out of it.
Oh my God! I'm sharing my soda with Lars Ulrich.
What is this like insanity right here?
I'm just sharing 10 years of groupies with
This is unbelievably early 2000s.
Yeah, he makes a
90s.
groupies STD joke right there.
Hey boys!
And then they take all his stuff. So yeah, they come in. Lars Ulrich has a bunch of guys just take this guy's stuff away.
Hey Bobby, sometimes you
And then his girlfriend comes in at the end.
Not the Pinto.
And then Lars Ulrich slaps a Napster sticker on her ass and walks away with his girl. Steals Marlon Wayans' girl.
The original Mr. Steal Your Girl.
What an insane video, and the most early or late 90s, early 2000s thing I can imagine.
That was very much it's crazy to like see that now because it's been so long since I've seen something that like unhinged.
Unhinged, in your face.
Unhinged was like the theme of the late 90s, early 2000s. Just a lot of weird stuff. There were no rules, basically.
No.
It was just a crazy time.
The only rule was can't be too gay, bro.
Yeah, no, there's none of that allowed.
The most homophobic era I think I could. That includes times that were, but like, there's like a weird like. It just was the time.
There's a lot of homophobic eras.
You know what I mean, though, where it was like weirdly like it was like people were cool with gay people, but they were also super homophobic at the same time. It was so bizarre. It was like so weird to me. It's just like I'm kind of obsessed with the era in that regard, like this like weird machismo, but like just so edgy. And that video is just so like unnecessarily edgy at all times.
It's ridiculous. Were you more Napster or LimeWire?
I was a Napster guy. My sisters were LimeWire, and
I was LimeWire.
My youngest sister, who actually is probably your age, she downloaded so many viruses onto our computer through LimeWire.
Oh my God. Yeah. LimeWire destroyed we had to get a new computer like every 6 months. It was LimeWire. LimeWire destroyed everything. And you know what is the funniest thing is most of the things I was downloading on LimeWire were WWE wrestlers theme songs because I thought that they were incredible. I just rocked out to these WWE wrestler theme songs. So like I downloaded like the Hardy Brothers theme song, you know, and so I downloaded that and I would just rock out to that in my room, and it was the coolest song ever to me at the time. And so yeah, I downloaded that and I destroyed these computers because LimeWire, man, it was toxic for computers. So
it basically was like, do you want some free music but with all the viruses on the internet? Here you go. Did you ever get hacked?
Not that I remember. No.
I had a guy hack me one time, and I swear to God, it was a guy I knew who was like trying to set me up for like in a weird way, where he did this like lame ass, like it was like the Matrix script and everything. And he's like, this is Morpheus. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And the guy's like, I have hacked your computer, blah, blah. And then,
what a weird thing.
And then the guy came in later and it was like, I think this was the same guy who's like, I can help you fix this. Like one of my friends was like, I can help you fix this. Like, I think it was you.
That kind of thing can only happen in that era, you know, where someone's like, I have hacked your computer. And it's just like, why are you talking that way? You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Just be normal. Just have a normal voice. Just be like, hey dog,
oh no, it was all typing. Like it was all typing, but like, that is how people would.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. Yeah.
No, but it was just like, that was kind of the mood though.
Yeah.
Like Matrix green script and shit. Oh my God. What a weird time to be alive. You know, I could talk about this for hours. I'm not going to linger on it, but yeah, I wanted to show you that video as somebody who I know is a music appreciator and somebody who has downloaded some illegal music back in the day.
Oh, certainly. And I will never forget that video. It's now burned into my hippocampus. So.
Oh, there you go. Oh, fancy term right there.
Nothing I can do now.
If any of you Flypaniacs make it out to the Biscuit Metallica show this weekend, shoot me a DM and I'll read your comment next week. I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, very curious. I'm sure someone's going. Someone who listens to this warped ass show has to be going.
There's definitely a correlation there. There's 100% a correlation.
Get there, now, shake that ass a little bit. Get those cheeks going, you know, in the crowd.
Do it all for the nookie. Come on.
That's right. Nookie. Yeah. Now, Steve, speaking of ass.
Oh, that's the transition I like right there.
We do have some big, huge week for asses all across the United States and in football.
You got a great ass.
Oh, yeah. Sure do. You certainly do, Steve.
Oh, thank you. That's America's ass right there.
Yeah.
I've been squatting. It's not good. But but yeah, so this is the last non-hockey topic. We got a lot of hockey stuff to get to, but last non-hockey topic tonight. So the play that we all love in Philadelphia and is hated around the rest of the NFL, the tush push, the brotherly shove, as it should be known. The brotherly shove is a much better name.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's much better.
That sucks.
No, the brotherly shove is beautiful.
The brotherly shove is awful. Tush push is so much better.
Tush push, yeah.
Brotherly shove is 4 syllables. Tush push is half the syllables.
Are you all about syllables?
It's too much.
You caveman.
It's too much coming out of your mouth.
No,
you know,
brotherly shove is beautiful.
Tush push is perfect.
Whatever. But regardless,
it mentions butts. It's a direct reference to the butt.
Tush just sounds like your aunt is going like, "Oh, wipe his tush."
See, tush, I think of rocket power. It's like, oh, I laid it on my tush or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like somebody's aunt, like talking about wiping a baby's butt, but whatever. We love the play.
I can't believe you think the other one.
I can't believe you think tush push is better.
That's unbelievable.
I think brotherly shove's perfect. But
that
whatever.
Is the hottest take.
Oh,
that was a hot take.
Okay. I don't think so, but whatever. But regardless of whatever you call it, the tush push, the brotherly shove, it lives for one more year despite the NFL's best efforts. And it's just like so funny to me because as a Philadelphia sports fan, I've never been in the position where my team has been so good at something that the rest of the league tries to outlaw it, that the rest of the league
Mhm.
tries to get rid of it. And it's so friggin' funny. And the Eagles just brought in all the big guns for this meeting
Yeah.
before it got banned. And so Jason Kelsey came in, and this apparently never happens, but Kelsey did like a whole like demonstration for everybody of the play and spoke about it and everything. And there was a whole, this is the most documented meeting of any sports
I know.
ownership I've ever seen. But my favorite part, this is from the ESPN article on the meeting. Toward the end of a speech that lasted close to an hour, Jeffrey Lurie told the room that regardless of whether the play was banned, it was a win-win for the Eagles, adding that it was like a wet dream for a teenage boy to create a play that was so
Poetry.
successful that the only way for it to be stopped was for it to be banned. Lurie spoke for several more minutes, adding that whoever voted to ban the play would be taking liability for putting quarterbacks at risk. He criticized NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent, ex-Eagle by the way, for advocating the ban, adding that he had spoken to NFL Chief Medical Officer Alan Sills at length about the play. After Lurie finished speaking, Vincent chastised the Eagles owner for the wet dream comment, specifically for saying it in front of women in the meeting. What?
Listen, I thought that was an outstanding quote. I support it in front of men, women, any other gender. Unbelievable. Well done by Jeff Lurie. Excellent power move. And he is right. Like, what could possibly be better than either saving the play and continuing to use the tush push, or if it does get banned, being like, this play that we created was so awesome, no one could stop it, and they had to ban it because no one could figure out how to stop it. That's how good our play was.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
But here's another thing. The whole thing is so stupid, Steve, because AJ Brown said it best. It's a 1 yard play. Maybe 2.5 yards if the offensive line and AJ Brown and Saquon get a really, really good push on Jalen Hurts. But like, it's a short yardage play that they use like twice a game.
Yeah, if that.
Like,
maybe in a especially egregious game they might use it 3 times, but like
Right.
It's a very small percentage. Like, it's not why the Eagles beat their asses in the Super Bowl. It's not why the Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs asses. They beat their asses because they were just throwing the ball all over them all day because they tried to play the run. They tried to beat Saquon all day. And that's the thing. The Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl regardless of having a play that was pretty much automatic from the goal line, because they still had a quarterback who could squat 700 pounds. They had a running back who could squat 600 plus pounds. They were just like a ridiculously stacked team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I remember back in the Tom Brady Patriots era, I remember Tom Brady was so good at the QB sneak. And for them, it was automatic. It was essentially, if it was like 4th and 1, 4th and inches, and they did the QB sneak, it was a guaranteed first down. I remember there were times that they did it against the Eagles, and it pissed me off every time because I knew they're about to do the QB sneak, and there's no way anyone can stop it. And it's funny being on the other side of it now. And now people are like, this is unacceptable. This play must be gone forever and wiped out of the NFL. And it's just so stupid. But
Philly can't have nice things. We're not allowed to have nice things.
One other thing I want to say. The final vote for banning of the tush push, I can't remember. I think they needed like 27 votes for it or something like that.
They needed, I think it was 75%. They needed 24 votes.
24. Okay. So they only got 22 votes, which means that the score of the vote was 22 teams to 10 teams who were in favor. Steve, do you remember what the final score of the Eagles-Packers wild card round game was?
Was it 22 to 10 birds?
It was 22 to 10 birds.
Oh, wow.
Caw-caw. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds,
baby.
Fuck Green Bay. Unbelievable. Bunch of
Green
whiny
Bay.
babies, full diapers. They stink. Go back to your cheese and just never show your... Dude, when the Eagles play the Packers in week 10, I hope every time, like if someone breaks loose for a touchdown, you got to slide your ass down on the 1 yard line and tush push the next play. And
Look
just
at
do that for every time you get in the red zone. Just tush push every single play.
It's just so ridiculous. I love the quote though. Like a wet dream for a teenage boy. Just like
Beautiful.
outrageous shit to say. Bravo, Jeffrey Lurie. That's what ownership looks like right there.
That's Shakespeare shit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't even think I can imagine Ed Snyder having said that. I don't think Ed Snyder would say a
I
wet
don't
dream
think-
for a teenage boy.
Honestly, I did not see Jeff Lurie saying something like that.
No, I was shocked. It's freaking hysterical.
It's
one
really
of my
good.
favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorite recent quotes in all of sports is just outstanding stuff right there.
It was good.
And yeah. So I guess now is time to abruptly gear shift into the hockey. We should
ice
probably
sport.
spend half our show talking about the ice sport that the show is technically dedicated to. But yeah, so we're a week after the Rick Tocchet hire. We were recording when it was a likely hypothetical, and we basically recorded our last episode as if it was a sure thing. And well,
It
it
is.
was. So
Yeah.
it was a good thing we bet on that, and it turned out to be true. It was very, very annoying for the first couple hours when they were starting to go back and forth on it. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this episode to be for naught, but
Yeah.
it was not for naught. And we've had the press conference. The press conference was not overly revealing as to anything. You know, they kind of just like, what, they name drop the spectrum, kind of check a couple things off the boxes as far as like pandering to the fans and everything, blah, blah, blah. But
Mm-hmm.
we're now a week after the Tocchet hire. How are you feeling about Rick Tocchet as the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers at this time?
I'm a little more optimistic now than I was initially. So initially I was like, I wasn't there was a lot of negativity surrounding that hire at first. A lot of people were acting like the sky was falling. How could the Flyers do this? It's just another, the old boys club strikes again. They're bringing back another former Flyer.
I believe I said all of that on last week's episode.
Correct. However, yes, both things can be true at once. I think am I annoyed that they're bringing back a former Flyer? Yes, I am a little annoyed about that. I am a little annoyed that it's still this old boys club. However, I do kind of like the vibe that Rick Tocchet brings. And we talked a little bit about it last week. He's a player's coach. It seems like he has a really, really good relationship with the vast majority of his players. Maybe not all of them. Sounds like, according to rumors, him and Elias Pettersson didn't exactly hate each other, but it sounds like he wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Elias Pettersson. But he seems like the kind of coach who players want to play for, which apparently it was one of the main reasons why the Flyers were so keen on hiring him in the first place. Danny Briere even said as much during his portion of the press conference. So,
do you mean to tell me that there were people around the National Hockey League who didn't want to play ice hockey for John Tortorella?
Stunning. I know, Steve. But it turns out that that's exactly the case.
Oh,
So,
wow.
wild.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, so it's, I understand the frustration around the hire, but I also now, after thinking about it for a bit and hearing some of what he had to say, it makes me feel a little bit better. And I can't remember where he said it. I feel like I think Tocchet may have said it on like the broadcaster roundtable that the Flyers do on their website with like JJ and Jason Martinez and all that. But and I may be getting it wrong. He may have said this on another interview, but Rick Tocchet basically said, in regard to Matvei Michkov, there's a lot of concern about the Flyers playing this dump and chase style, right? With him being the head coach. And he made a comment essentially saying, this is very much paraphrasing, by the way. He basically said, listen, man, like, I'm not going to have, when Mishkov's out there, I'm not going to have him going in and chipping and chasing it. Like, you need to adjust and play to each player's strengths. And Steve, I fucking levitated to the ceiling when I heard him say that. It was incredible. And so that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that. I want to hear that he does have that ability to kind of change up his approach with certain players. How does he coach? Because it seems like with John Tortorella, it's like all 21 of you, or however many are on the team, 23, whatever it is, you're all playing my way or you're getting out. That's how it's going to go. And
It sure was. It sure was.
And it seems like with Rick Tocchet, he's more open to saying like, okay, well, you're clearly an offensive mastermind. So I'm going to coach you in a way that is going to allow you to play your game to the best of your abilities, which I'm a fan of. I like that. And I think that's exciting. And again, is his resume sterling? No, not really. But he does have a Jack Adams under his belt. And I don't think we can totally ignore that much of his coaching career was with the Arizona goddamn Coyotes. Like truly one of the most horrifically misrun franchises in all of sports, not even hockey, all of sports.
No, all of sports is absolutely correct about that. And yeah, he has such a weird career because it starts with, I think, the lowest point of Lightning hockey, maybe in the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm. I would say
I think it has to be, right? Like he's with the lowest point of the Lightning hockey, terrible Coyotes team, and up and down results with the Vancouver Canucks. You could maybe blame a lot last season on injuries and also on whatever the hell went down with Miller and Pettersson, which I've been hearing a lot of recently. I don't even know what to say anymore, but I will say I'm feeling much better now than I was a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that is the assurance that he seems like he's going to let Matvey cook. Yeah. And that's all I really care about is letting Matvey Michkov cook, because whatever you think about the makeup of this team, right? And where they're going to go in the next couple of years, there's the one thing that we can all agree on. Matvey Michkov is centerpiece of this team.
Yeah.
And he is what you have to build around. He is going to be the face of Flyers hockey for the foreseeable future. Okay. And he's the guy that you're adding pieces to complement. When we're talking about centers in the draft, it keeps coming back to, is this a guy that we could envision playing well with Matvey Michkov for years to come? Mm-hmm. We talk about guys that we could trade for at center. That's what we're talking about. Like that is the topic. So when it comes to Rick Tocchet being the immediate head coach of the Flyers, I really worry about like free agents. And apparently he's great for that. Like people really do like playing for him, which is a breath of fresh air after John Tortorella. So check on free agents, and he's saying the right things as far as Michkov goes right now. And that's hugely important to me because he's everything.
The next two off seasons are going to be very interesting for the Flyers too, because obviously we know that the off season of 2026, that's when a lot of, that's when their books are going to kind of open up. They're going to have a lot more money to spend on free agents and, acquiring those star players. But I do think they're going to be a little bit active this summer too. And Rick Tocchet, during an interview with, I believe it was NHL Network, he flat out said, like, yeah, Danny Briere told me, like, we're going. Like, we are, like, one of the big things is we want to be bringing in free agents. We want to be spending money on these guys. We want to be building now. And he straight up said, yeah, Danny told me that. And, that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm here. And that makes me happy to hear that he's kind of being used as not only as obviously a coach, but also as like a bargaining tool in order to get guys to want to come to the Flyers. Because he does have that relationship with his players. Listen, we talked about it before. Like Phil Kessel famously wasn't exactly like the easiest guy to coach. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when he was in Toronto, he got
old hot dog Phil
got asked a question like, hey, your coach, there's a rumor that you're difficult to coach. Do you agree with that? And then he flipped out on this reporter. He totally lost it. Then he goes to Pittsburgh, where Rick Tocchet was an assistant coach, and he flourishes. And, it just makes you wonder, like, is there something there? And then obviously Sidney Crosby, he can't stop talking about Rick Tocchet. He loves the guy. And so when those two guys are saying such, giving him such high praise, it's not a bad thing. So there's just so much evidence that he really does have a very solid, strong relationship with his players. And I think that's exactly what this team needs after the whole John Tortorella roller coaster. I I understand that John Tortorella was hired for a specific reason. Those reasons were not having a good relationship with the players or building a contending team. That's not why he was hired. He was hired to fix the culture and kick every single one of those players in the ass. That's exactly what he was hired to do.
Literally. No, you're right. He was 100% hired to fix the culture and kick them in the ass, but he was also hired in a way to try and salvage Chuck Fletcher's dying job there, because Chuck Fletcher had no plan for what to do with that team. He knew it was on the way down. He's like, well, Torts can, make the playoffs with really shitty teams. So let's bring him in to try and salvage whatever we can from this mess. Mm-hmm. And it did not. I actually didn't even put that together until recently, that was why Chuck Fletcher hired Tortorella there. It makes a lot more sense when you think about it like that, as opposed to at the time where you're like, what are they doing? They need to rebuild. They need to just start over from scratch. And thankfully they accidentally backed their way into a rebuild. And we're now in a much better position where I feel
thanks
good about
to Torts. Torts was the one to say, like he pointed out, he said it in so many press conferences where he was like, guy, like, what are we doing? Like he was the guy to kind of pointed everything out. So
I was talking about it with Bill and Charlie last week when I was on PHLY, and Charlie said something like Torts was there just like a couple weeks. And he's like, what the hell is this? We got to rebuild.
That's exactly what it was though. Like I mean, I don't know if it was that soon.
It might not have been 2 weeks. It might have been 2 months, but like, it was pretty quickly that he was like, what is this shit?
Right. It didn't take very long.
Which is like, we were all screaming it as fans. Like we knew this was a team that was like bottoming out, but like why that offseason was so frustrating was because Chuck Fletcher was acting like he was still building this team up to be competitive. Yeah. And at the same time, like, he's, instead of getting Johnny Gaudreau, who clearly wanted to come here for pennies, he's like, let's bring in TDA, which nobody wanted. And this is, of course, after his embarrassment of errors there with Shane Gostisbehere, who clearly he screwed up on, because Shane Gostisbehere's had a great NHL career since then.
The Ristolainen trade.
The Ristolainen trade, which we'll just be paying for forever, because he's never getting traded. He's paying, no,
at this point,
he's playing every last cent of that contract here. Well, playing's a loose term when he can't get on the ice, but
I don't know.
I'm back to hating. I'm back to hating on old Risto there.
I don't know how you can trade Claude Giroux and then say, no, we're still going for it. Like, we can still compete. It's like, he was the only good thing on this team. And now he's gone. So like,
it was him and like TK, and TK, to his credit, has really stepped up since then.
Yeah.
TK, he's became a leader on this team, truly something else. But, talking about Tocchet, it just seems like everybody, the player wise, is excited about him. And I just love this from a free agent standpoint, because it's been too long since Philadelphia has been a destination for free agents, been somewhere that guys want to sign, they want to be. And I think between this coaching hire, having a well-liked coach in Rick Tocchet, and having guys like Matvei Mishkov, Philly might actually be in the conversation for these free agents again. And that's friggin' awesome.
That would be great. And now, before that happens, I do think that like the Flyers need to be good again. First thing.
Sure.
So like that would help more than anything. So I think and I was thinking about this earlier, like coming into this past season, I had absolutely zero expectations for the Flyers. I didn't care what they did. All I cared about was, how is Mishkov doing? That was it. Now, going into this next season, the 25-26 season, now I have an expectation. Granted, it's not a lofty expectation, but now I need to see a clear and obvious step forward. That doesn't mean make the playoffs, but now I do kind of expect the Flyers to at least be knocking on the door a little bit. You know what I mean? So
be in the conversation,
Yeah, be in the conversation.
They were in the conversation the previous season, but this past season, like, there was maybe 2 minutes where you thought of it as a possibility, and it was not a very long 2 minutes. It was a quick 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have thought of them, because the team was just missing too many crucial pieces. We saw the difficulties with center depth. We saw just the atrocity that was their goaltending. So there's a lot of, fascinating things to think about as far as personnel goes this offseason. We'll be talking about them in the coming weeks, but one thing I wanted to mention in the coaching department, we're still looking for who Tocchett's assistants are going to be. And we're real bummed that one guy is not going to be one of his assistants that we were hoping would be, but we understand why. Bradshaw is not going to continue on with the Flyers. It's a bummer, but I also understand when you're going for the job as the boss after you've been the boss for like a month and you don't get that job, even though you've got a good resume and you've got a great reason to be it. I understand not wanting to stay around and be the sidekick anymore. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I am kind of pissed, however, that per report, it looks like he'll be joining our rivals, my most hated, one of my two most hated teams in the league, the New Jersey Devils.
I would have preferred if he had joined like the Canucks.
Canucks would have been great.
Or like,
anybody.
Like a
anybody
Western
but the
Conference team.
Penguins. Anybody but the Penguins, Devils, Rangers, or Islanders.
Yeah, even if he joined like Columbus, I'd be like, all right, cool, go for it. Yeah, get after it. But he's with the New Jersey goddamn Devils.
Which is a team with potential. They've got a star player in Jack Hughes. They've got a rock solid player with Nico Hischier. They've got, they're going to have the entire Hughes family before you know it. They've got good defensive pieces for.
Well, not necessarily because Quinn's coming to Philly, obviously.
Oh, is that yeah?
Loves Rick Tocchet. No, I mean, but like that's the joke is that like Quinn Hughes loves Rick Tocchet. Rick Tocchet's the head coach of the Flyers. Quinn Hughes
must be close to his brothers,
Yeah,
hey,
come on. He's
listen,
right up 95.
You will share ice with them a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Just maybe not passing to each other or anything. But yeah, come on board, Quinn. We're gonna get Quinn. We're gonna get Connor McDavid. We're gonna get everybody.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say is, regarding the whole, Devils thing, this particularly sucks because the Devils have really good young defensemen and they're already a really, really, really good team. The only reason that they probably aren't in the playoffs right now still is because they were totally tanked by injuries. They got fucked by injuries this year. And if that hadn't happened, I feel like they are a legit contender. Jacob Markstrom was playing pretty well. Obviously, Jack Hughes is Jack Hughes. You lose Luke Hughes for a bit. It's Dougie Hamilton. You lost Dougie Hamilton for a bit. And it's just, it's hard when you're having these major injuries to some of your top performing guys. And I truly feel when they are healthy again, they are going to be a problem, problem. And now that, Brad Shaw's there to kind of help shore up the defense, good God almighty, it's not going to be fun playing against the Devils.
Yeah. And the biggest problem with the Devils is they're a young team. So even as the Flyers grow, guess what? The Devils are going to be right there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like the Rangers are a team that after this disaster of a season, like they look like they're on their way out. Like,
yeah,
sure. They still have guys like Adam Fox and Shesterkin, right? Like who are unbelievable, but Panarin's older and other things, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
But they've got guys on the older side as far as their offensive stars go. So it doesn't really feel like the Rangers' time in the sun is really going on right now.
Well,
Carolina's going to continue.
They also got Mike Sullivan.
They did get Mike Sullivan, which
phenomenal.
The thing is, this year the Flyers aren't competitors, so whatever. But Sullivan, that could be a problem for the next couple of years. But I don't know. I feel like the Rangers need to retool soon. They're going to have to retool a little bit soon. Yeah.
I'd say
but the Devils are my big concern for the Flyers coming up in the next couple of years. I mean, Carolina's going to be good because Carolina's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Ovi,
not right now, but
not at this exact moment. We're recording right now on Thursday night. The Florida Panthers are up 4-0 on the Hurricanes in the third period. The Hurricanes have 7 shots in this game in the third period.
That's horrendous. The Panths be Panthsin.
The Panths are they're on a heater right now. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Who would have thought? And they've just been running with it. But I want to get into the Leafs in a minute. But it sucks about Bradshaw. I'm bummed about that. There are reports that Ian LaPerriere might be out as the Phantoms coach, which would be amazing because
He's not good.
Listen, Lappy's I always hear he's one of the nicest guys, but he has not done a good job as head coach. I don't know why he was ever made head coach of the Phantoms. It's never made sense to me. I hope he has happiness wherever he goes, but I'm done with it. I want a real pro AHL guy in there who can help develop these kids, because that's the thing. They need to really develop some of these guys that are coming up, because while you do have guys who are going to be like, rock stars, or, guys that have already developed really well, like, you've got to get guys like take them to the finish line. Like, I'm looking at Oliver Bonk right now, right? Like, I want Oliver Bonk to be ready to go, ready to rock in the next like year or two and be a key part of this Flyers defense.
Oh yeah. No. And that, especially with all these young guys coming up, it's not even just him. It's not even just Bonk. It's
Denver Barkey.
You got Denver Bonky. You got Jet Lachenko. I'm still not totally convinced he makes the team out of camp. Like, I would like to see that, but I'm not totally there yet. If
Jet gets a year of seasoning in the AHL, I'm totally cool with that. I think he needs it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And I am happy that is happening, because again, Loppy seems like a wonderful man. He seems to have a solid relationship with his players from what I can tell, but like in terms of coaching, he's not ideal. So, no. And go find a job somewhere else. He'll find something. He's pretty well connected. If
he's a nice guy, he's got connections all over. I'm sure Jonesy will write him a glowing review somewhere, recommendation. Yeah. Come on. He's going to be fine. Who cares? Get us a good, I don't know anything about AHL coaches, or I get into that, but I don't know shit. So we're not going to talk about it. I don't know who they'd even hire. I would love to spend a couple minutes. I think we're going to skip draft stuff this week, because we've got plenty of other stuff to talk about. And I've got a fun little bit that I wanted to talk about last week, and I want to talk about this week, but I think it's going to get cut this week as well. Pressing thing I really want to discuss with the rest of the show is the Toronto Maple Leafs have fallen apart yet again in the playoffs. Game 7 loss.
Unbelievable.
To the Florida Panthers.
Crazy. Where have we heard this story before, Steve?
They were up 2-0 in that series, and they almost won game 3. They were almost up 3-0, went to overtime, and they lost it, and they lost the series. And it's the most Leaf shit to ever happen. All the big stars just died at the end of that series. They started off ahead, and then at the end of that series, just gone, just dead. And, to lose game 5 the way they did. What game 5 was 6-0, or was it 6-1? I forget offhand.
Truly, I can't remember, but they allowed 6 goals on home ice. And then they turn around and they play a phenomenal game on the road to force game 7. And once that happens, everyone knows it's written in the stars, Steve. They're going to come back to Toronto and they're going to do it. They're going to lay an egg again, because that's what the Maple Leafs do. And they did exactly that. And Steve, my goodness, were the sights worth it? I'm talking people throwing their jerseys on the ice mid-play. Their mint condition Austin Matthews jerseys are just tossing it right there on the ice. They're tossing full full cans or cups of beer right onto the rink.
Shit's expensive too. Like,
that's like $100.
It's a lot of money. Like, we talk about eggs being expensive. Eggs got nothing on stadium beers.
Not at all. And people just throw on them. But that's how angry they are. They're spending their whole month's paycheck on a beer at Scotiabank Arena, and they're just tossing it out onto the ice. And it's just,
I get it. Like, I totally get it from a Leafs fan perspective, because that's the only drought worse than the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm sure there's other ones that are worse, but like, it's the one that I consider in my head that always makes me feel better about hashtag 1975 is hashtag 1967. So they make me feel better about that. And also just like to see a team that's so talented and should be doing so much better just fail so spectacularly every year. And now they're going to get broken up. Now their core 4 is getting broken up. It might be just down to a core 2. It might even be a core 1. Yeah.
How do you not break it up? You have to.
There's no way that Marner's back at this point. And Mitch Marner is a big part of that team. Like, Mitch Marner, look, whatever about the playoffs, right? The playoffs are a big factor in why he won't be back. But that's a guy who gets you a ton of points in the regular season every year. He's a reason you're at the top of the standings. So that's a big loss for that team. And I'm curious how they will replace it, but it does not seem like there's any chance in hell he's back there. So first topic is Marner. Gut feeling right now, who do you think he ends up with?
Well, let me address this first. I do feel like people are going to be wanting the Flyers to go get Mitch Marner. I personally am not one of those people at all.
I think it's a bad fit.
I don't
Bad fit
think
all
it's
around.
a good fit because listen, dude, I understand he's a really, really good player. Like objectively, he's a good player. Take out the playoff shortcomings. He's a good player. He's a winger. Flyers need centers, man. Like that's what they need to be tossing all of their resources at. So go get yourself a center, Flyers. That's what you need to do. Don't worry
Frankly,
about
of the Toronto free agents, I'm more interested in Tavares because he is a center and
short-term contract.
Short-term, I'll pay him a bunch of money for like 2 years to get, because here's the thing, I'm also not relying on him to win us a championship. Like he was brought to Toronto to win a championship. I just want to make the goddamn playoffs. Like I don't even care what happens. I just want to get into the playoffs because it has been a while. It's been too damn long. I want a damn playoff game in the Wells Fargo, the Xfinity Mobile Arena, whatever the fuck it's called. The place the Philadelphia Flyers play the ice sport. I want there to be a playoff game and I want it real bad.
Give me Tavares for 2 years to kind of like help the young centers take their game to the next level. Cause it seems like that's kind of what he does. He's very much like the elder statesman of the team. So I would not hate it if they got Tavares. I think that would be kind of cool.
He had 74 points in 75 games last year, 38 goals, 36 assists, 38 goals. And he's in his mid 30s. That's amazing. The only thing is I'll bring Tavares in, but he has to have a contract clause that he is not allowed to talk to Matvei Mishkov about amulets.
No, I can't have. Honestly, I feel like if he did try and talk to Mishkov about amulets, Mishkov would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Get out of my face right now."
No English.
No English. Yeah, all of a sudden he forgets English. Not no that he knows much of it anyway, but that's exactly what he'd do. He'd be like, I don't know what to say to you right now. I don't know what an amulet is. He doesn't.
It says healing properties, Matvei. No English.
I don't think Matvei Mishkov knows what the word elephant means in English.
Let alone amulet.
Let alone amulet. So yeah. So let's just get that out of the way.
Outstanding. But Tavares is interesting. But yeah, I want to talk about Marner. He's my big one.
I think I could see, looking at the list of teams that you have so very graciously put in front of me here, I think the Sharks stand out a lot.
Ooh, okay. The Sharks are an interesting one.
They got the young, up-and-coming superstar center in Celebrini. And then you got, they're a young team. You got Will Smith. Throw Mitch Marner in there. That's a pretty solid core right there. And Mitch Marner, I know he's not like, I still view him as a kid. He's not a kid, but he's.
He looks like a kid.
He's still like
he's got one of those fresh face, like.
But he's still good. And so I think if you pair him with some of those younger guys out in San Jose, I think that could be a really, really good situation. So I think San Jose would be great for him. And also, you know what? Here's another thing. Small market. Get the fuck out of Canada and go to the most.
He's going to have a good time anywhere else.
Go to the most chill place in the goddamn world, California. Go to California and just have fun with these young kids who are new to the NHL and just watch them grow and just put up 100 points every season.
They're also going to get a stud in the draft this year because they have the number 2, right? So they're probably getting Schaefer or Misa.
Yeah. They might get Michael Misa. So
they might get Schaefer. Schaefer's a stud
or
too.
Schaefer. Yeah. Like I know that Schaefer's like the consensus number 1. So I'm just going to assume it's Misa. And let's pretend they get Misa. My God, you got Celebrini, you got Misa, you got Smith, you got Marner. Unbelievable. Yeah. That makes up. That covers your scoring for the top 2 lines already. That's incredible. So
I think San Jose is a very strong possibility. I don't know, this might just be purely vibes for me, but I feel like the Utah Mammoth are where he's going to go.
That would be,
and I think a big part of that is their new kid on the block, want to make a big splash in their market, finally have a damn name. You know, they really want to make an impression with their fan base. They really want to make an impression around the league. And I think a big signing like this will be a long way. And also they have some good guys on the team. Like Clayton Keller rocks. Like I think a Keller Marner combination would be really, really good.
Dylan Gunther, dude. Like,
yeah, Gunther's good.
Rules. I love Dylan Gunther. Yeah, I mean, they got some good young guys on that team, and I think that would be fun too. I think that would be a good destination. So I think Utah would be great. I really think San Jose would be great.
My dark horse here is Columbus. Columbus has a lot of cap space and almost made the playoffs. And that's a team that really wants to make the leap. They want to be in the conversation like we're talking about with the Flyers, you know, and Columbus might feel they're closer, and that's a young team that could make and they have some good centers on that team. So they could be in business if they got a guy like him. The Ducks are also intriguing to me. The Ducks, just because they're in a more nebulous place than a lot of these other teams. Like the Ducks have some really good young talent, but they don't have like a Celebrini, you know, they don't have like a Clayton Keller. So
Leo Carlson's, he can play.
I think Leo Carlson's good. I like Leo Carlson a lot. And, you know, despite the fact that we hate his guts and all my homies hate Mr. Gauthier, Bill, but Gauthier, you know, scored some goals this year. He's all right. Mason McTavish, you know, they got some good guys on that team.
Now, here's another thing, and I know that no one wants to, you know, it pains me to say it, but they do got Q. Like, Quenneville has made a career of coaching high-octane offenses in the NHL, and, you know, if you go and get Mitch Marner, that would work. I think that would work.
I wouldn't want to. That you want to talk about Rick Tocchet being a free agent draw? I would hope Q would be a free agent. Like, I don't want any part of that.
Right. But listen, like I understand that, but I think a lot of hockey players are like, yeah, what he did was fucked up, but I'm trying to secure the bag and I'm trying to put up some big points. So
fuck him.
That's how no,
I hear all your logical hockey arguments, but I'm just going to end it with a fuck him. Interesting one for me too is the Nashville Predators, because you know I think they probably have to do a little bit of cap gymnastics, but they took a big swing with Steven Stamkos this year, and it did not work out for them.
It was pretty bad.
But that's a team that always needs offensive talent, and I don't know. I feel like they might want to try and like make a quick turnaround, like make a quick rebound from that disaster of a season. They're going to have a great pick, you know. And they have Yossi. So they have Yossi, they have goaltending, like they have some good stuff. So I'm intrigued by Nashville, maybe the Sabres.
I would feel bad for him if he went to the Sabres.
Oh, I'd feel bad for him too, but at the same time, it'd be pretty fucking funny.
It would be funny it would be funny if he just like literally just went across, you know, Niagara Falls to the American side and played against the Leafs like 4 times a year.
Oh, see, now I want it to happen because that's pretty funny.
That would be nice. It'd be really good.
Now, the Penguins have his former GM in Kyle Dubas.
Real quick, Timmy's in? I know it's in Canada, obviously. Is it also in Buffalo?
I am sure it is. I mean, they have it in Jersey.
Timmy's?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. I ate a Timbit earlier this week.
Really? I've never had one.
Yeah, my buddy, it's a munchkin. It's like a better munchkin, but it's a munchkin.
I fuck up a munchkin, so I'd love a Timbit.
Well, yeah. Well, let's take a road trip. We'll go over the bridge, get some Timbits.
Actually, all right, real quick aside. Yes, let's do that. Do you know what I'm doing this Saturday?
What are you doing this Saturday?
Me and my friends are taking a road trip to Maryland for Waffle House and then driving back.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like 2 hours to get there. No, well, not 2 hours. It's more like an hour and something. But like, yeah,
it's a road trip.
It's gonna be fun. We want some Waffle House.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever had Waffle House. When I go visit my dad in the South, I'm going to try to convince him into going.
Do it. It's an experience.
I bet it is. I also listed the Flames as a possibility just because they have cap space. The Blackhawks, they have cap space. They need warm bodies for Bedard, but I wouldn't want to play for the Blackhawks. They're a mess. The Rangers don't have space, but there's a team that's in the conversation. They're the New York Rangers. They like to make a splash.
You mentioned the Penguins.
The Penguins are a weird one because they're trying to salvage Sidney Crosby's career at this point. And he's getting up there, but he's still playing great hockey. And Kyle Dubas is his former GM.
Exactly. And if you get Marner, he's not so old that, 4 or 5 years down the road, he's like a problem for your team. You know what I mean? So I kind of wonder if they view Mitch Marner as like, oh, he can help us win in the last couple years of Sidney Crosby's time here. And also, maybe he could kind of be the piece that we like our centerpiece after Crosby's time is over. So that could be an interesting landing spot too. It's going to be really compelling to see where he ends up going.
I think they're going to have to dump somebody though, if they want to make that move. And I think it's going to have to be somebody like Carlson.
Yeah. Or, I mean,
you know how much Carlson's making right now per year? His AAV?
Isn't it like 9.5?
10.
10. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot for, Eric Carlson's only 34. I thought he was older for some reason.
I mean, Chris Letang also, like he just had another stroke or like a heart thing or something. I can't remember, but he's had 2 strokes.
Christopher Letang, Doc. Christopher Letang is making $6.1 million a season, and he's signed until 2027-28, Doc, and he's 38 years old, Doc.
Like, I don't know how you get rid of him. Like, do you try and trade him or something? Like, I don't know.
I sure ain't taking them, and you don't have the Coyotes just take dead contracts anymore.
Yeah, they're not Coyotes anymore.
I kind of miss the Coyotes. You're getting so many dead contracts off the books. They took Chris Pronger, Who else one of the favorites?
They would have loved Ryan Ellis. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'd love to trade that Ryan Ellis deal. But guess what? He's finally going an LTIR this year, so we can get some guys, right?
That's right.
Right? So, come on, make it happen. So I feel ultimately, I think the Mammoth are the team. You think the Sharks. I think they're both really good options.
Yeah, both of them would be great. Yeah.
Now, last Leafs question here. Anybody else you think the Leafs should get rid of? Because I think they should probably part ways with Tavares. Even if he doesn't come here, I think they got to move on, right? And I think Marner's a no-brainer. Do you think, I think Nylander's a no-brainer to keep. Nylander actually performs in the playoffs. He had a great season. Nylander's great. Austin Matthews.
Yeah, keep going.
Austin Matthews is the intriguing question here because I don't think there's I would never trade Austin Matthews because I think Austin Matthews is outstanding. Now, a little up and down, but anybody who's capable of scoring goals like he does, you have to be insane to trade him. And while I'd love for my Philadelphia Flyers to acquire an Austin Matthews, it would be disgusting. That conversation from Toronto's end starts with Matvei Michkov, and there's no way I'm doing that.
No, not happening. Yeah. Listen, I think they keep Matthews. But I'm going to be honest, I don't see him staying in Toronto for forever. I really don't.
I'm in agreement there because
I think at some point they're going to want to trade him because they're going to get tired of him, and it's going to be like, we want a Canadian captain, and then some stupid shit like that. Toronto is a fucking weird place, but
dude, it seems like such a nightmare. Like the Florida Panthers were talking about it, and they were talking about just like the pressure cooker that you're in when you're in Toronto. Like Marchand was talking about it, and I think Kachuk as well. Yeah. And just like how in Florida it's just chill vibes,
right?
Like you just relax.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah. But I do think they're going to keep Matthews. I think you got to keep William Nylander because he is one of the few guys on the Leafs who has that dog in him. You know what I mean? And you know who else has that? They need to start getting dogs. That's what they need to start doing.
The Eagles philosophy.
They don't have enough. Yeah. I swear to God, though. And I know it's like a joke because it's like, oh, they played for the Bulldogs in college, but like they're also literal dogs. You know what I mean? Like they are just rabid animals on the field. And so that's what the Leafs need more of are these rabid, four-legged canine creatures on ice skates. And so they need to go out. They need to keep Matty Nyes at all costs.
Oh, yeah.
Matty Nyes is a dog.
You want to talk about a guy I would swoop in and take in a heartbeat. It's Matty Nyes right there. I'd be Nyes out for Nyes. Like that guy, you're right. He does have that dog in him. I would totally get him. No, that's the thing is like the Flyers, I think, recognize that. And why when I look at some of these draft projections that I kind of roll my eyes, because like certain guys, I'm like, that doesn't seem right for the current philosophy. They like smart players that have that dog in them. And like Matvei Mishkov, for instance,
Dog.
nobody has more of that. There are very few people in Philadelphia who have more of that dog in him right now than Matvei Mishkov.
Yeah.
Everybody else who has more of that dog in him are pretty much on the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, excluding Eagles players, no one has more.
Maybe
dog.
Bryce Harper. That's it.
Maybe Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper's got a lot of dog in him, but
He's
nobody
got a
on the
lot of dog,
Sixers.
but dude, fucking Mishkov, man.
Fucking Mishkov got that dog.
He was a rookie, and he was already like an adolescent German Shepherd.
He was.
You know, like
Yes.
imagine
By the way,
him in 4 years.
I saw a German Shepherd puppy today, and he was.
I saw, and I
adorable.
was really angry about it because they're the best dogs.
He
in
was
the world.
very soft. But yes, Matvei Mishkov, 100%. He is a
Adolescent
rabid
German
animal,
Shepherd.
and I
With
don't want
rabies.
him. By the way, I don't want him driving any more cars around. Somebody drive for him. No more
Yeah.
driving. None
Yeah,
more.
none. Just take SEPTA, bro.
Just don't no SEPTA for him either.
Take
Personal driver everywhere. I want a fixer to just like escort Matvei Mishkov everywhere.
You
You
should
know?
just have a black car service.
Some sort of like a Liev Schreiber-esque fixer, a large man, a Big Dom, like just attach Matvei Mishkov to Big Dom at all times. Get a Big Dom
Honestly.
for the Flyers. Like,
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Who
Like,
would be
AJ
the-
Brown got his car stolen. Big Dom had it back in like an hour.
Who would be the Flyers' Big Dom?
Oh, I don't think he exists. I think they need to find one. They
Pretty.
need like Big Dom's cousin, like Small Dom.
Yeah,
But he's actually larger. He's called
Yeah.
Small Dom, but he's larger.
yeah. Make Gritty his Big Dom, basically.
You know what? That's the key right there.
I
That's
think
the
it would
the clear key right there. But yeah, I agree with you. Nylander's got the dog in him. Austin Matthews, I don't think he's going to play it out there.
I don't
And
think
he
I
should.
don't think he has that dog. I honestly am not certain that Austin Matthews has that dog in him enough in the postseason. But you can't give up on Austin Matthews yet.
If you want to trade him here though for peanuts,
That'd be nice.
I will trade anything that's not Matvei Mishkov for
Oh yeah,
Austin Matthews, like anything.
our
but
first
I-
for next year. Take it. I don't care.
Matvei Mishkov though, I don't know. Like, there's very few players in this league I would give him up for.
Here's the question for you, Steve. Would you give up all of this year's firsts and next year's first
Yes.
for Austin Matthews? I think I would too.
For Austin Matthews, I think I
would
actually might.
too. I
Yeah.
really would. Yeah,
I really
would.
don't like. I don't give a shit about the picks at this point for the most part.
Yeah.
Like,
If you
I
get
like
Austin
it.
Matthews, who cares?
I don't
Like,
give a shit. He
only
scores.
problem is him and Mishkov are both shooters. So
Oh well, then I
But
guess
who
one of
cares?
them's gonna have to play on the second line and score a shit ton of goals there.
there you go. Yeah. So
Oh no! Oh no!
Gross.
I guess Travis Konechny gets to play with Austin Matthews, and then Matvei Mishkov gets to play with like Sean Couturier or still trade for Marco Rossi, and he plays with.
yes, that's what needs to happen, Steve. That's what needs to happen. I'm the Marco Rossi god.
You're the Rossi
here.
renegade.
I'm the Rossi renegade, man. I need Marco Rossi on the Flyers. That has to happen.
I'm
Like,
all in on the Marco Rossi
listen,
too.
take advantage of dumb teams. The Minnesota Wild are the dumbest team. They lucked into Kirill Kaprizov. If they didn't have Kirill Kaprizov, they would be so bad. Go make Bill Guerin look like the stupid brute that he is and just go get Marco Rossi for what I don't care. I don't care what it takes. Go get him. I don't care.
You got a lot of assets. You can load up. You can get somebody like him.
Unbelievable.
Let's go. Giddy up. Giddy up. All right. Well, there's so much more we could talk about, but
I know.
quickly, Carolina Hurricanes are looking cooked right now
Dead.
against the Florida Panthers. They're down 4-0, game's almost over. They're going to be down 2-0 going back to Florida.
They're
It
rattled.
looks bad for Rod the Bod and company, but so Florida might be going back to the Stanley Cup final, which is kind of a bummer, but they're also a fun team to watch. So, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But that said,
I think they're good for hockey too, because you got
They are.
Kachuk. You got Kachuk. I mean, they do have fun players. So
they have fun players.
Yeah.
So the Florida Panthers, it's a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, like, they're fun hockey. I mean, I would not be totally mad if we got a rematch of the Panthers and the Oilers, because that was a great Stanley Cup final.
I really want to see the Stars. I
want to
do.
see the Stars too. I love the Stars. That comeback they had against the Oilers
Electric.
last night was fantastic. That was great
Yeah.
hockey right there.
I just want to see, like, I think this just feels like their year, you know, like
It does.
they've been knocking on the door, and, you know, they lost to the Lightning a couple years ago. They got beat by Edmonton last year. I feel like, you know, everyone's healthy now. I just think when they're playing their best hockey, they are so goddamn good. I think they deserve it. I think they deserve to win the cup this year. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Stars are playing great hockey, and that's just a lot of fun to watch.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, folks. Well, that's all there is. It's getting late. The sun's getting real low, big guy. It's time to go. But thanks so much for listening or watching. We love and appreciate you all. If you have any feedback, the best place is on social media. Quigs, where can people find you on the socials?
Ryan Quigs with a Z. Thank you.
Oh, wow. You can find me over at Flyperbole or at SDBomb over on Blue Sky. If it's for hockey purposes, make it Flyperbole. It's Flyperbole on Instagram. It's Flyperbole on TikTok. All that good stuff right there.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, give us a little like right there. We'd appreciate it very much. And if you are, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Know where are you, baby, watching or listening? Everybody enjoy that long weekend. And we will be back next week with more nonsense and hockey talk for y'all. We love you. And until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey. Wow, 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 wow.